Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of STEVIETALKS by Stevielife. This time we are going to talk about mental health and streaming. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Hi Deevoz.
Hello there.
Welcome backers.
Yeah, glad to be here again.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. So today we are going to talk about mental health related to streaming or being a content creator.
Exactly.
My first question to you is, as you have a lot of knowledge about it, can you maybe explain to people what mental health is and what we mean with it?
Okay, that's a gigantic question right from the get-go. So mental health is basically everything that affects what happens in your mind. Like, it doesn't have to be clinical issues like schizophrenia or stuff like that. It can also be like, in terms, smaller factors that are not necessarily pathologic. Like anxiety, for example, is a thing that happens to everyone now and then and everywhere, but it's not necessarily has to be on a pathologic level. It is still stressful though. So every kind of mental unwell-being is what we want to talk about, and what happens in regards to streaming and the whole world that it includes.
Okay. Can I ask a specific question about you? Because you are
Sure.
now a streamer, and
Yes.
as we establish, a content creator.
Yes.
Do you have anything like do you have that on a daily now being a streamer? And if so, why?
I wouldn't say daily. Like, negative impact on mental health, I wouldn't say that's a daily thing. That's more like a phase thing.
All right.
That sounds a bit weird, but like there's good phases and bad phases, and I think no matter if you're a streamer or not, that's something that people can relate to. That they maybe just sometimes have a bad week, or even a bad 2 or 3 weeks where like everything is just terrible, and then there's times where everything is fine again, and you're like positive and you look forward to things that happen.
Yeah.
And then something happens and everything turns upside down again.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty much, it can be with everything, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like content
Yeah.
creation, right? I think that counts for pretty much everybody in their daily lives.
Absolutely.
All right. But
So,
go ahead.
But a thing that is very different in terms of content creation is that you start to connect your success and at least partly your value to numbers.
Yeah.
And other than in like regular jobs, you get your feedback a lot faster. Like, you do a stream, you see numbers. You see like how many people watch, how many
Yes.
comments were written, how many people talked in my chat, how many subscribers were gifted, were like paid, whatever. Like, all these are numbers that we get like confronted with every time we stream. And these numbers have an impact on us. They can be motivating, but they can also be demotivating. They can tell us, okay, everything we did was horrible today, or this week, or in general, like we're doing something wrong clearly. Or at least that is what our mind tells us reading these numbers. Or they can do the exact opposite.
Okay, does that ever happen to you?
Absolutely.
Why? And when?
Like, for example, it usually happens after having a really good time where you think, okay, I'm doing great right now. I should keep doing what I'm doing because this seems to be good.
Is that related to numbers or gifted
Yes,
subs
absolutely.
or?
Like, mostly like viewer numbers and also chat activity is what is probably like the highest markers, I would say.
Okay.
Like, after having like a week with, I don't know, regularly 40-50 viewers, then comes like a week, or like if it's just like 2 or 3 days where you have like 10 to 15, and you just, what changed? What did I do wrong? Like, why is everything different now? Do I need to do I need to change something? And then you start questioning yourself, and then you start like asking yourself if you're doing everything wrong, and if this is what is worth it after all. And you go down in a downward spiral.
In content creation, and especially with streamers, what I see a lot is people call it the imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So you are saying that you have it sometimes, but it's mostly related to numbers, right?
Mostly, yes.
Is it also because you have more pressure now on your shoulders because it's your only income?
Mostly.
Okay.
Like I would say that that has a major impact on it. Like if I knew that I have like a job that pays my bills anyways, and like the way I intended it to be, it was like that,
Mm-hmm.
but it currently isn't. So of course, like the existential um, value of all that is obviously different.
Okay.
So it also evokes some kind of existential fear because like having
Okay.
bad numbers means everything you're trying right now is not going to work.
Okay, but
Like
let's say like this: you have 60 viewers watching you,
yeah,
but it's only in during a 6 hour stream you get like 2 gifted subs.
yeah,
In the next stream you only have 10 people watching you, but you
yeah.
get 30 subs. So do those numbers define you then? Or is it those people that are actually right there? If it's only 10, they're giving a lot of subs. They like your content. They are important. They want to support you. So does it matter?
I try to see it like more from a growth aspect.
Okay. So
Because
it's like the numbers and the growth is
yeah,
actually what it is.
exactly.
Okay.
Like it is I absolutely appreciate if someone like drops a lot of subs. Like
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing. I love it. Um but having like higher numbers in terms of viewers and activity in chat is like in ways more important to me.
But how do we or why do we even think like that as a streamer? Is that because we're both streaming on Twitch? It's because
Yeah.
of the partner status that you can get with an average of that you need to get 75 average viewers and then you can apply. You won't necessarily get it straight away because they look at other stuff too. Um but do you think that that is like a major pressure thing and that's where it stems from, or is it something else?
I think that is part of it.
Okay.
Because like the partner status in general is something I think every Twitch streamer wants to achieve. Um, and it isn't just like having a check mark and having like a cool purple mark appearing in other chats. That's like not the main thing, but I think like one of the big parts of it is like slightly higher financial stability out of it, and like more opportunities in
Like sponsorships
several
and
ways.
stuff maybe.
Exactly.
All right, because for example, right, like I know a few streamers that have maybe 400 or 600 people watching them.
Yeah.
But in one stream of, say, 5 hours, they only got like 2 gifted subs.
Yeah.
And there's so many people watching them, they have the partner status and everything. And that only happens to them, and even though so many people are watching you, right?
Yeah.
Which is, in the end, not great, right? It's not a good thing. They have everything, but they don't have the income from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we are putting so much pressure on ourselves, including myself. I'm putting a lot of pressure on my shoulders, extra pressure on my shoulders to
Yeah.
try and get that partner status. But in the end, I have seen that it's not only about the numbers, but it's also about the gifted subs and the people that are actually there, trying to
Yeah,
support
sure.
you no matter what. And I find it very interesting of why it is so important to us to get that partner check.
I mean, it's one of the few like. Let me rephrase. I think it's a bit comparable to school or like any kind of further education. It's like the only official celebration of your success that
Yeah,
you can
that
get.
you can like see, right?
Exactly. It's like when you get like your bachelor's degree or your apprenticeship
Yeah,
medal. I don't
yeah,
know how
yeah.
these
It's
things are called.
something. You
But yeah,
just get
it's like
something.
exactly
Yeah,
exactly. That's the one thing you can show.
and
The one thing
celebrate.
you have and celebrate. The one
Yeah,
thing you like, I don't know, put in your home, put it like on a tree
yeah,
or something,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and show everyone, look, I made it.
Point at it. Yeah. No, but it's true. But because I think it just it shows. I think for not only yourself but also other people, like, hey, I did something and it's worth something and it means something,
Exactly.
which is kind of weird.
I mean, I think most people crave external validation at some point. or
Do you
in
think it's
some
validation from other people, or do you think it's like coming? Is it because of other people, or is it also something stemming inside of us, like as a human? Like we
I
need
mean,
that.
I genuinely think that most humans strive like progress and strive achievement, and it is kind of an external validation that we got an achievement.
Okay.
And then sure, like I don't think many like that is a very personal thing. Some people crave like the attention from others because they made it. Other people just need it for themselves, so they have some kind of validation that they're on the right path.
Yeah.
But
What is it for you? What does it mean to you?
I think for me, it's mostly an internal thing that like the choices I made were the right ones.
So it's like a reward for your hard work.
It's more like an achievement.
Okay.
Like
Interesting, because
sign
that is a
that
difference then.
yeah,
So you don't see it as a reward, but you see it more as like I achieved something.
exactly.
But why is that so important? Like, why is it so important to get that check mark? You know, instead of celebrating already what you're doing now, and maybe you are already very successful. But why is that? Why does that check mark define us by being happy that we achieved something?
I think because in general, streaming or content creation is a, let's say, risky career choice.
Yes.
And it's like the one thing that gives you a slight bit of security.
Okay.
Like it's arguably it's not great security and it doesn't save you from anything, but it feels like it's some kind of security. And the one thing you can work for. I think it is necessary, like to have this as a bit of a goal. And honestly, I don't know if it gets really rough after you get it.
Yeah.
Because then you have nothing to strive for.
Well, I know a few that have that partner status, and that suddenly they got it, and suddenly their numbers massively declined because of the change of game, or like people are not watching that game anymore. It's kind of old, or something else is coming out. You know, like people, or like the whole situation with COVID, right? A lot of countries are now open, and people are traveling again. They are having very, very bad days every single day, because suddenly they went from average viewers of 100, and suddenly now they only have 24 or 30. Not even. So I definitely think there is like two sides on being affiliated and then being partnered, and then the after part of being a partner. Definitely. So let me ask you, because we were just talking about like bad days. Do you like? I think we talked about it in the first podcast, the previous podcast. That how do you deal with having a bad day? Because you said if I'm having a terrible day, I don't stream.
Exactly.
But you must.
Like, obviously, there's shades of gray there.
Yeah. But like an absolute terrible day, you don't. You're like, no, my mental health is definitely not good today. I'm not streaming.
The reason I do that is not only because I don't feel like it, but because I know that the slightest thing going wrong will make me cancel immediately. And I think sometimes it's better to just say, okay, I just can't today, than just popping after the first negative thing happened. It eventually will happen.
Do you, if you do take a day off, do you get even more nervous?
Kinda, yes, sure. Like, obviously, you are aware that there's other streamers out there, and people watch them, sure. And if you're not there for a day, they might find their new favorite streamer, which is 100% fair. Like, in the end, you don't own anyone, and they don't owe you anything.
Yep.
But like, not being there for a day is very stressful.
Definitely. So even if you're sick, right, and you have to take a day off because you're ill, it even can make you even more ill, right? Because you know you can't stream, but you have to, kinda, because otherwise there's the possibility of people leaving, and you, like you just said as well, you were working so hard for something and you were doing well, it can suddenly, because of one day, drop again massively or change completely.
Yeah.
So I know for different streamers that I know that they have like huge anxiety to cancel a stream.
I can imagine.
So speaking about mental health, I think anxiety is for me one of the biggest things in streaming content creation that I didn't expect in the degree that how it is or can be. By taking a day off, taking a week off, even going on holiday, you're not really on holiday or you're not really taking a day off because you still have that anxiety of like, hey, I'm not there, something's maybe going to happen or whatever. How do you deal with that?
So there's like various levels to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there's just this general anxiety that you like carry with you every day, and like you at some point you start kind of try to ignore it and stuff, and like try to, I don't know, do meditation or whatever to cope with it. But like when it gets worse, like the only thing that helps for me is talking to people. Like
Okay.
somehow finding contact, like either talking to friends, talking to my girlfriend or something, just like being in contact with people so I get out of my own head.
Do you also join in your own Discord and try to play games with people to try and still be there for your community and stuff as well?
Like if I have a terrible day, I most likely won't. If
Okay.
I have a bad day, I will. But usually on bad days, I try streaming anyways. Just not on terrible ones. Then I just need something outside of the whole headspace.
Because you just said like when you do have a bad day, you still stream.
Yeah.
Is streaming for you, as for like a lot of other streamers, like an escape?
I mean, it really helps to get out of your own head for a while. Because there's so many things going on that you don't have much time to think about yourself.
True. But
So,
are you
yeah.
never really afraid that if something bad happens on stream that it's going to trigger something?
I mean, it did happen, and then I ended stream there. So this can always happen, and
So
it's especially rough when you already.
Can you maybe explain what happened?
So like in the end, it was a pretty stupid situation. Like
It's
just
always
the
like
average.
that. It's always
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
When you look back at it, you're like, why? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the end, like if you see it in hindsight, it wasn't even a big deal. But I already had a bad day. I was like, okay, you're gonna start stream anyways.
Yes.
You have to be on schedule.
Yeah, let's
like,
go.
Now put like, I don't know, put your shit together and do it.
Yes.
And then you have like a couple bad DVD games, and it's like, oh man, dude, I don't feel it today. And
Yeah.
then people join chat and start being aggressive and
Yes. Calling
commenting
you
on
noob.
things. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't even mind noob, but people like going off about wishing people the sickness and whatever
Oh,
is
yeah, okay,
just. It's like at some level you think like, why am I even bothering talking to these idiots?
Yeah.
And
And then it triggers something like, oh.
yeah, like that feeling of, okay, I already put my shit together to even start today, which obviously they didn't know, and obviously no one else knows because you keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
And then like your skin is just not thick enough for these days, and that's why you say, okay, fuck it, dude, I'm a go off now.
So you do need to have thick skin.
Sure.
For being 100%. A streamer, right? Okay. So do you regret it afterwards when you end stream and stuff? You were like, I shouldn't have streamed.
It happened like once.
Oh, really?
Like where I said like, okay, dude, I was really in a bad spot today. I should have called it off.
So do you sometimes try to come across happy even on your bad days?
I'm trying, but as I said before, I have a terrible faux poker face. People can usually tell immediately.
Really? Okay.
And I'm just really bad at poker facing, so I don't know. I'll try to just be more analytical in these days, and people usually notice. And then they come in chat and be like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?"
So do you put extra pressure on yourself to try and be happy and, you know, and stream even if you're having a bad day? And does that affect your mental health once you're done? Because you're talking to people, you're trying to have fun and everything else, but it takes a lot of energy out of you, right? Especially if you're already having a bad day and not feeling the greatest. You try to push yourself to do something, right? You try to be there for other people as well, and try to, well, not necessarily act happy, but try to be happy and, you know, carry out that positivity towards others that are watching.
Yeah.
Does that affect your mental health in any way once you're done with streaming? because then suddenly there's nobody. I mean, you have your girlfriend and everything, but suddenly you're in your room, you just finished, and there's silence.
If I'm not super exhausted, it's usually okay.
Okay.
Like, because I am very lucky to have like a good set of people I can reach out to.
Yeah, that's really
Many
good.
of them being online during the night exclusively, which is very useful if you like ending stream late. So I have a good set of friends I can like just jump into Discord to and just talk to them. It's a great thing to have.
Okay. But how do you feel about people, there's many streamers out there that have their social interaction is also streaming, you know?
Yeah.
And the moment that they shut down their stream, it's silence. There's silence. There's nothing going on in their lives and they don't know what to do. I think, in my opinion, there's so many streamers out there that actually have that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Do you think that's something that as a streamer you should be more open about? Would that have like a positive influence on the entire community of streaming and stuff if you actually talk about it openly that you are struggling once you are shutting down your stream?
I think it would be good to talk about it, and I think this would also be something where we could like offer help, because in general, I think there is like a lot of streamers out there that would be willing to just like take an hour of their day and talk to these people in that situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Like just be there, like let's jump into Discord, let's just talk for an hour, tell me about it. And like that would not only be like a great way to find relief in these situations, talk to someone that like knows the spot.
Yeah.
But it would also be like a great way to maybe like get to know new people.
True.
And learn something.
But what I know, the reason that they don't do that is because they have an image to uphold. Or they don't trust anybody on the internet. Because it can be a very scary situation, right? Being very open to people on the internet.
True.
So, because you know what you're talking about, is there any advice or anything at all what you can give to these people?
The thing is, I believe it is very different for different people. Like there's some people that need absolute silence and calmness around them to find
music
new energy
or something. Yeah.
Like basically, they're like in the end, it's introverts and extroverts. If you want to break it down, like there's people that need no social contact whatsoever to regain their posture and their energy, and there's people that need some kind of contact to get out of the hole. And like realizing what you need to cope with these situations and trying to find situations for yourself how to make that available for you is in general a very good idea, I believe.
Do you think being a content creator or a streamer is a very lonely job?
That's actually an interesting question because I see people do it very different. Like that kind of it's a bit bigger than the scope of the question initially was. But like there's people that tend to stream only with their friends. Like in every stream, they're always in Discord with people, and they usually the same people too. And they play with them. They have like a bit of a podcast style stream where they just mostly talk to their friends and obviously with chat too. And like I feel like that is a very different situation as when you're like more of a solo entertainer. So I don't know if they're necessarily lonely then, because they are in company the whole time.
True.
How do you think about it?
I honestly think, because I know the side of it being very lonely. Like you said, you have a support group, you have your own little family and everything, you know, like you have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people only have their community to fall back on. But because it's, especially when you're growing and being a bigger streamer and all that, or content creator, doesn't matter which platform really. It can be very scary because you are more vulnerable for a lot of dangerous things. It can be very small, but the moment that you open up, for example, to people that do not have, they don't have they have like ill intent. It can be a very dangerous thing. So what I know is that some people that actually are finally opening up, suddenly, you know, it can massively backfire, and
Hmm.
then they try not to. They try to still uphold that image of being funny, positive, you know, and try to also have that in their community and not tear it down because they are actually very lonely and feeling bad and struggling with mental health. Um, I do feel as well with being a content creator and being a streamer, I think so many people are burned out. So many people are actually not happy. So many people are struggling. But it's because I think even though it's getting better now, like the whole subject of mental health or having problems or issues or struggles, I think it's getting a lot better now that you open up about it and people are more understanding actually when
Yeah.
you do. um it's still a bit of a gray area, you know. If I've seen, for example, on Twitter and all that jazz, if people are saying like, hey, I'm having a bad day, a lot of people are very, very positive and
Hmm.
try to be there for that person and try to, you know, reach out. um but I've also seen that people are like, oh yeah, well, they only have bad days, so I'm going to go to a different streamer that is very positive and vibing and energetic, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a very dangerous thing with, or dangerous, I don't know, won't really want to say dangerous, but to, in a lack of better word, it can be frustrating as well because you try to do the right thing, but it can also really backfire. And
Yeah.
then you hope you have your community to fall back on as well, which I do. You probably do as well. And I
Yeah.
think the community in on Twitch and in Discord and all that is something that really is a positive thing for my mental health because it's something that we have created, right? We started somewhere and they come into our Discord and they start playing with each other and they're hanging out and talking and vibing, and you suddenly see them being friends. Some of them in my Discord actually are in a relationship right now, and
Mm.
even though they are in completely different countries, they you know, the stuff like that is something that as a content creator is weird. Like it's like, what just happened, you know? Like, is that because I started streaming, you know, and they went inside my community and they felt safe enough to do that? um it's something very unreal to me. Like, it's unreal, but it's such a positive influence on my mental health,
Yeah.
to see something this great, you know.
Absolutely.
Do you have that too, that it makes you happy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like there's several different situations where I see that. Like if I see just people play together in my Discord, that already makes me happy because I feel like cool. Because in the adult life, and like let's step away from the internet just for 1 second. Like there's not that many occasions where you meet new people.
True, not
Like you have the
anymore.
circle you met in school, you have the
Yeah.
circle you met in university or during your apprenticeship, and then you have the circle you meet at work. And apart from that, you can go to clubs, you can go to bars and all that, but
Yeah, but like me, if you're alone, you
yeah,
don't really want to do that straight away. You know, you're like,
exactly.
oh, you know, it's a very different world now for me.
Yeah, I get it, and like having created a community where people actually play together, that's very great. Or like another thing I love to see is when like people met in my stream and then they rate each other.
Yeah.
Like that's super cool to see.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute. And so did you make a lot of new friends by being a streamer, content creator?
Definitely, yeah.
Like only on
I'm,
the
I'm
platform on Twitch or also on different platforms, or?
no, also on Discord. Like Discord being the main platform to talk to people for me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I know Twitch DMs exist, but I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know who
really
uses them.
know.
Yeah. So mostly on Discord. Yeah, I've met well, like, I've met a great amount of people, and I made many friends during that time, and that's great.
Um,
And so far, I did stay out of Twitch drama, which I'm very
wow,
happy about.
that's really good. But
I
does
don't even know
it?
how I managed.
But does it give you? Does that give you an extra boost? Those people that are there and playing and supporting you, but also being your friend, etc. Does that give you like a boost? Like, okay, I need to be good with streaming. I need to be. getting that partner check at one point?
Well, I don't know. It feels more like something I achieved, no matter if I succeed or not.
Okay.
Like this just feels like okay. Like if nothing works out and I go back to 9 to 5 or something, at least I still made friends,
All right.
and we'll stay friends.
Good.
I hope.
No, but it's the same with you and me.
Yeah.
Or you and I. Like, I don't even know how that even happened. I think somebody rated me, I think, and you were there, and you just were like, okay.
I think I played against you.
Oh, maybe it was like
sometime
that.
in the afternoon, and then I didn't have time to stay, and then I just followed, and at some point I said, okay, let's raid.
Yeah, but like now we're making a podcast together.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Because of a game that apparently everybody dislikes, but it's like I made so many friends because of DBD and because I started streaming.
Yeah.
But the downside of streaming is what we kind of talked about before, is having a thick skin.
Yeah.
I know you have good days, bad days, and sometimes you can take criticism a little bit better, on certain days than other days. Sure. How do you deal with it?
I think there's a great difference between like actual criticism, like especially constructive criticism, where I can do something.
Proper hate, like
it's not even just hate, just people like complaining about something. It doesn't even need to be hate.
Okay.
Like just people coming in complaining about your playstyle, and you're like, okay, that is your valid opinion, but I don't care.
Does that affect you at all or no?
It also depends on my day. At some point, I'm just immediately. On other days, I'll have a little discussion, and on other days, I feel like, dude, why am I even? What is this shit? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But constructive criticism is always welcome. Like, tell me something I don't know. I love to hear it.
Okay. Do you think that's the cultural difference right there? Because we as Dutch people are very direct. If there's an issue or if there's some things, I will go to you directly and be like, okay, listen, but I know from different countries that is really something they're not used to.
That is definitely a cultural difference. And like in Germany, it's like southern Germany, northern Germany is very different. Like northern Germany is more direct. Southern Germany is like they hint it at best.
Yeah,
if you're
and
lucky.
they go around
or they say something and it's something bad, but it sounds very positive.
Yeah, in the end, you're like, wait, what? Yeah, but do you think as a streamer, because you and I are probably both very direct, even though you are I'm very direct because I'm also an Aries. So it doesn't always help by being a content creator and a streamer. Do you have that too? That you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I should have not. For me, that was like that, especially in the beginning of being a streamer. Now I'm way more careful and way more, how do you say that? Like toned down with what I say, how I say it, but not always.
Yeah, I absolutely. I also deleted VODs because I did.
Oh.
Because I was like, shit, you can't say that shit online. Let's delete the VOD immediately.
Oh,
like
wow,
the
really?
funny thing is, like I basically it was in the end it was just like criticizing someone's playstyle, and being rather mean about it.
And then you were like, why did I even do that?
Yeah, and then the person came into chat and he was like a Twitch partner and was like, oh shit, delete VOD, delete VOD.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. But in the end, like I don't know, it wasn't even like super angry or something. I don't know. I think I called them a crotch perk baby or something. Like nothing too dramatic, but in the end, I didn't want to have that on the internet, so I deleted the VOD.
Which is very smart because, like what we said before, and also we said in the other podcast, is that you have to be careful what you say online.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you actually?
Did you ever do that? Delete a VOD because something you said?
No. I deleted VODs because of different reasons. I deleted VODs because I thought my mood was not good enough. I thought I was not good enough. Or I was crying because something bad happened during stream, which I absolutely regret. Or that I was crying and that I ended stream because I was crying. Because something bad had happened. And I just feel terrible and miserable looking at that, or like knowing that people can see that was the last VOD for the next coming 2 days, and I just deleted.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think necessarily like, did I ever? No, I don't think I ever did, no. No. So if I, get into Twitch drama, it's probably because I did not delete a certain bot. No, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. Let's see. Maybe this is a good question. What is the best amount of hours to stream in regard of work or life balance? And what are the risks of streaming less or more?
That is, I read that question too, and I've thought that's a very hard question because I don't have a clear answer.
I don't either. The thing is that the risks of it, I know, is that if you overdo yourself or if you like put so much effort and time and everything in it, which I did before, I only had one day off. But even on that day off, I was still the whole time in Discord, playing and staying up until 9 a.m. in the morning, stuff like that. Which in the end literally burned me out. And like I said in the previous podcast as well, people were not happy with it that I suddenly took days off and all that stuff. But right now I feel I'm on a good path with that. Like if I don't feel good enough, I cancel or instead do a Discord stream or something like that. I do feel sometimes it is better to not be streaming and not be there because you can also over push yourself to people. If you are there 24/7 constantly every single day, people just know you're going to be there. They don't have like a day or 2 days or whatever days to be like, oh, I can't wait for Deevoz stream again, you know, because they are longing for it. They want to see your face and be happy and, and vibe with you. But if you're there constantly every single day, no matter what, it probably gets boring.
That I'm yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Absolutely. But I see people being successful with both, and I know both feelings. Like there's people where I know, okay, they're streaming every single evening, and I'm happy that they do.
Okay.
So and I know like a large chunk of their community is also happy that they do. Because it's just like I don't know, watching the news every day. Like it's just the thing you turn on in the evenings, for example.
It's like for me with a certain streamer, I knew he was live at 9 p.m. I already had dinner and everything else just so I could be there and in his community as well. Because it was such a routine. It was just something that I do, or did. Yeah. But like the moment that he was not streaming, I was like, oh, I can't wait for your stream, So it's a bit of like a both way, right? But I also think you should definitely take care of yourself because I think, especially when you look on Twitter and all that jazz, a lot of people, and because I'm in stream teams, I know a lot of people are burned out, but they can't quit. They can't stop. They can't take a week off.
Yeah.
So another good question was like, so is a day off actually really a day off?
Before, like, I kind of want to make like another statement to the hours.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because like for me personally, I have set the rule: if I start stream, I'll go for a minimum of 4 hours.
Yep, same.
And if I don't have like a thing that will definitely end my stream for like I have to make food or something, I go as long as I feel like it's fun and it's good.
Okay, that's valid. I think that's a good point.
And like especially recently, I caught myself streaming for 8 hours all of a sudden, being like, oh, how did that happen? But in the end, if you don't even notice how the time passes, it's I don't think it's too damaging to your mental. However, if you like notice that you don't feel like going on and you still keep pushing, I think that's where it gets dangerous, and it's very personal. Like when I started streaming, I had troubles keeping like 4 hours of attention. That changed. That changed,
yeah. Like I know for a few streamers, because they are already burned out and struggling, they still push themselves to at least stream for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Every single day almost. And I'm like, but why do you do that? Is it not better to stream for 4 hours and push out amazing content instead of like dreading those 5 or 6 hours again because you push yourself so much to actually do that? And to be honest, when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, now you can see that they're getting tired. You can see that they are actually not having fun, but they are pushing themselves to do that, which I think is not always that great for a streamer to do. Because a 6 hours a long stream is a long stream. The same with like an 8-hour stream. It's a very long stream to always be entertaining.
Exactly. And even responsive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you constantly keep up with chat and everything, and you're still trying to be like happy,
And then there's people that stream like 13 hours literally every day, and I'm like,
I don't know how to do that.
No idea how you do that.
It also, I think, depends on the game.
DVD. CBD 13 hours straight every day. I have no idea
Like a
how
killer?
they do it. Yeah, mostly.
But they are bigger streamers and have a big community that they can talk to.
Mm, not from the get-go.
Really?
Yeah. I can text you later about it.
Yeah, I would like to get their number and call. I mean, like, give me some advice. No, but I don't know how to do that.
Me neither.
I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm already struggling with 18 hours subathons.
I can imagine 18 is insane.
Yeah, so and some people do 24 hours or even longer, like an uncapped subathon and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how they do that. I don't know.
I wonder if like part of that idea of a uncapped subathon is that people enjoy seeing the streamer like suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Maybe.
it's like not too bad if they start getting unresponsive because that's what they expected.
Maybe, yeah, maybe there's like a both, like I don't know. I don't know. I think with like subathons and stuff, people also are enjoying the bit of like I made her or I made them to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that's like they have to be there now for 24 hours type deal because I did something. I feel like a power thingy maybe, but also it's like enjoyable because they don't want you to go.
Yeah.
And also at the same time having that, I think it's like an endorphin or something for gifting subs and seeing that person so happy and then also getting all the support from the community, be like, oh my god, you're amazing, stuff like that. I think that also gives like the people or the person that does that gives them a certain feeling as well of like that they did something good.
Yeah, definitely.
So in regards to mental health, I think for a lot of Twitch viewers, I think for them there is like that little piece of happiness that they can find in different communities, but also on stream. And especially when they are maybe even just vibing and talking to new people and meeting new people, but also gifting subs and everything, I think it gives them a feel of maybe a little bit like happiness. The same when I, for example, have a bad day and I buy something new and it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
You know, with like as a viewer and you gift something and that person has a camera as well, like a webcam, you can see their reaction and see how happy they are. And you get all the support from the community as well because wow.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, supporting is a thing that feels very good.
I think so.
Like in any way, shape, or form, I think supporting in general gives us a good feeling. And I think that's actually like an evolutionary thing. Because if it wouldn't, I think we would have died as human race.
Yeah, like no, but I feel like for example, I know a few lurkers in my stream that have been there for longer than a year. Have not said a word, but they keep subbing every single time, you know, because they are always subbed. And they have like a streak going on. So that's why I know. But they never or hardly ever talk, or some of them never talked.
Yeah.
So
some people just don't like talking in chat. They just want to watch you.
No, they just want to, and just look at you and just be supportive in that way.
Yeah.
But also the people that do not gift anything or whatever and just lurk. I think it also for a lot of people that gives them a feeling of somebody's there.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, for streaming and mental health, it goes both ways. I think for a streamer, there's a lot of pressure and good things. But I think it's the same for a viewer. Because why are otherwise people on Twitch? Why are they watching a streamer? Because it gives them something, right?
I think for a lot of people it is a sense of community, a sense of having someone that is there when they are alone. Like especially during COVID times, I think that hit especially hard. Like they couldn't meet anyone, so they found a little community online that they could be a part of, and obviously streamers offer a very like reachable community. Like the entrance level is relatively low to get in there and get to know people and have like some sort of friends that you can talk to.
Yeah, and but like for example, I also hear from people they are working, and when I was working, I was listening to music.
Yeah.
They are listening to you or me streaming and shouting in their ear. You know? So why do you think they do that?
I think it's a lot about feeling to be like that feeling to be together with your friends. Like imagine being at work, but all your friends are there too. That sounds kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, like, but like, I couldn't focus. I probably could not focus at all.
It
That's
really
why.
depends what you do too.
True. Yeah, probably. But I feel
Like
like
for
it's a.
example,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I worked for like a job homepage, and I made all the HTML backend stuff, like the homepage stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed basically zero cognitive energy for that. So the whole time while doing so, I listened to I don't know, philosophy podcasts in not my native tongue, just to keep my brain somewhat entertained, so I don't go crazy. And I think there's a lot of jobs that don't really require a lot of mental energy, so you have that free for, I don't know, listening to someone scream.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like a lot of positivity as well with being a streamer, or in
Yeah.
regards to mental health, I think, right?
Definitely. Like it is a double-edged sword. We connect extremely large chunks of our mental health to the things that happen online.
Yeah, we do. So to get into a little bit of a darker place with mental
Yeah.
health regarding to being a streamer or content creator, let's talk about safety.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think nowadays it is much more scarier, dangerous to be a streamer than how it was a couple years ago?
Honestly, I don't really know. It is, I think we have more safety measurements or more safety regulatories than we had before.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially in the EU, we got the GDPR,
Yeah.
which is a bit of a meme, but
Yeah,
it
but
still
it's
has some positive factors.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we have like a privacy law here now in the Netherlands and stuff as well.
exactly. So we have more things that protect us than we had back in the days. I think in general the internet has more rules now than it had 5 years ago.
But do you think the boundaries have changed?
I think people are more like people voicing their boundaries more,
And also
and you have
opinions?
more tools to set your boundaries. Like I don't think it is more dangerous now, but I
Really?
might just know things, know some things not.
Mm. Because, for example, like I read, not constantly, thank God, but like a
Yeah,
lot, unfortunately, that streamers are being swatted, hate rated,
yeah,
that somebody was in front of their house because
yeah,
they knew their address and stuff, or people doxing, and I don't know all those terms, but something like that, and you see it, unfortunately, almost every day.
yeah.
I can't remember um, that a couple years ago it was this bad.
We have a very famous case of that in Germany, and that started like 10 years ago or something. So that was more present in my mind that this happened before too.
Mm-hmm.
It might happen more. That is possible. And there's probably also more ways to find out where someone lives and dox them and then make like hate rates and all that possible.
Do you think being a streamer on Twitch that Twitch need to have more like a guideline for that? For being a streamer, that you know what that means? Because in the beginning, when I just started streaming, I clicked a button. I don't know. I didn't know that I should not say my real name.
Yeah.
And now I don't.
I definitely.
There was nothing like a guide or anything like at all. Like, do not do this as a streamer, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there should be. I mean, of course, we can
Definitely.
all Google, but like in terms of like, you know, being Twitch and the platform, like doing something.
Yeah. I think that would be a great idea to have like a streamer's guide by Twitch.
Yeah, even though if it's like very short, but like, do not do this. Be careful, or this and that can happen. Do you
The
think
same way every game tells you to not share your password, they could just have that kind of message.
yeah, something. Well, what do you think Twitch can do to be more protective of their streamers? Is there anything they can do? Is it their job?
It is partly their job. Like getting the information out so people know what they can and what they can't do on stream and how they can protect yourself is a large chunk of what Twitch should offer. Because I don't think it's a a hard thing to do for them. They could just make a blog post and make that mandatory to read before you can click live stream the first time. Like that would be very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, like the moment you have this information, you kind of also have to do things on your own. Like you have to try to not say your name and all these things. So it's a bit of a I
But
think
do you think, like, because you are able to stream on Twitch when you're 13 years old, right? So do you think they know? I mean, I didn't know.
true.
And I'm old. So what about those youngsters that are online playing DBD or something that they shouldn't even play, but they are, and they say their name, their house address, and they get into a heated argument? It is so easy.
Honestly, I think they should like raise the age cap of streaming.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially knowing that if I had children and they could be like this on Twitch and be whatever, but also look at whatever that is on Twitch currently.
Yeah.
I think that's extremely scary.
It definitely is.
But is that the fault of Twitch?
I mean, they want to keep their age cap relatively low because like younger people usually have a high buying power, and that's what they're interested in. Like they ask their parents for money and they get everything, right? That's how it works.
In regards to mental health, does that scare you that you have to be careful with who is in your chat and who is portraying or how they are portraying themselves, and they can be somebody completely different?
Not honestly, not overly, because like in the end, if a child doesn't tell me that it's a child, how would I know? Like I'm not psychic.
Yeah.
I'm a psychologist. There's a slight difference.
But you are the head or the face of the community, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but in the end, I cannot tell. Like, so I need to rely on the things they tell me.
So do you think it's fair that streamers are getting canceled here and there because they did not know, but because they are the face of the community, they had to step up, but we're too late to step up? Do you think it's fair?
In general, no. Like you cannot punish people for things they didn't know.
Yeah. How does it?
That's problematic.
How does that affect your mental health in any way? Of like knowing, okay, let me rephrase that. How does it affect your mental health in any way, knowing that there are people online that are there for like ill intent, right? Like they are not there for the good. And the fact that they also can be young, but also that you as a streamer are so vulnerable.
I think a tool that Twitch should give us is being able to make someone like unable to view your content. Like not just banning them from chat, but like making them completely unable to see you.
Because right now, if you ban somebody, they can still watch your VODs and actually can still see you while live.
Exactly. And then they can try to report you for whatever reason and like make your life really miserable.
Yep. Definitely.
And that's super annoying, obviously.
Definitely.
And it's also bad for your mental health if you have like that feeling that someone watches you at all times trying to find every single mistake you might make.
I mean, true. Because that happened to me, and that till this day is something that I'm still not as scared of anymore, but in the beginning I was.
Mm-hmm.
Hence I also moved because they knew where I lived and everything. Yep. But I don't even want to think about all those younger people having to deal with stuff like this already on such a young age.
I actually don't know the exact guidelines. Like how far can you go while being young? Can you go like the full road to like, I don't know,
like partner and stuff? That I don't know. That I don't know. But I know you can stream on Twitch. I think you're 13 or 14. You can stream. You be a streamer.
Yeah.
I just think that it's so easy to be a streamer and click on a button and stream.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too easy. I also think it's a little bit too easy about people creating accounts. I think it should be attached to like a phone number or like an email address or something like that. Like I can't do that in Discord. Like people have to verify and all that jazz. And if they don't have like a proper email, they can't even join my Discord and stuff like that. So, but in Twitch, doesn't matter what you do.
They sure could add extra security options there. However, there's countries where a new phone number costs you less than €1. So getting new phone numbers is just a minor thing, but it might stop young people from making a bot army to troll you.
I mean, do you think it's happening a lot now? I think it's happening a lot. Does that because the thing is, I can ask you if it scares you in any certain way or form, but you're rarely faced. You're not you're not bothered as much, right? You stay in your own lane, you do your own thing and all that. Is that because you learned to do that, or were you always like this?
I think I always was a kind of a careful kind of person, and I learned very young that I shouldn't give too many fucks about other people's opinions. Because that, like, I don't know, I was a very edgy teenager. Let's be real here. Like, I like had a long goatee and long hair, and I wore like a black leather coat, and I was like a fucking edgy teenager, like the whole metal shebang. And that kind of taught me something. And it's like, the less fuck you give about other people's opinions, the better for you. However, in content creation, you kind of need to start giving fucks about other people's opinions, because like, otherwise they won't watch you, right? So something shifted there.
I mean,
obviously,
yes and no. Like,
yeah.
But what I admire is that you are saying you try to stay true to yourself, and do the thing you believe in, right?
Yeah. Because I don't believe in being able to wear a mask for too long.
I think eventually it will come out, I think.
Exactly.
Plus, it will probably take a toll on your mental health by pretending so long.
Exactly.
There's another question I have. It's called trauma dumping. Yeah. So pretty much that people go to your chat. They say, hey, even though we're vibing, dancing, doesn't matter. I'm talking about my stream. And they come to your stream and they say something very bad. Somebody died. Or even like more trigger warnings related. So even though you explicitly say, please don't do that, we have a Discord, we have a deep talk, and you try to set up so many things for people to go to, they still do that. How do you deal with that?
I don't have a rule for people to not do that.
Okay.
So far, because I personally don't mind it. But I do 100% understand why someone would mind it. Like, I do see like the range of that. Like, I do see like the moment you bring that up, it isn't only just something that might like kill the mood in the stream. It might also trigger other people in the chat.
Yeah.
Like, because I have my stream revolving a lot around like mental health topics, I feel like it would be kind of weird if I would prohibit that.
I mean, same for me. Like, if people are having a bad day or whatever, they can talk to me. They come to me, my DMs are open. Even though sometimes I even closed it because I was struggling myself. But we have the deep talk section and all that jazz anyways. But it happened before that people were saying such, I won't say what, but they were using specific triggering words that can be not only for me triggering, that makes me feel extremely bad, but also I know other people that dealt with that were hurt. They were hurt, they were sad, they did not play anymore, they just were lurking, they were quiet. But I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to let people know that that is not an okay thing to do. That you have to be careful, even if it's on a streamer's chat or whatever, you have to be careful what you say, because I don't think people realize that a lot of people on Twitch or viewers have been through a lot. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of people just don't care.
I don't think people see the scope of it.
Like, why do they feel the need to go to a streamer that is playing Dead by Daylight and saying, show me your butthole, and then trauma dump something like that instantly after that? Like,
I mean, okay, but that's a whole different deal. Like, no, I thought you meant people that were actually in your community before.
No.
Is it new people just joining in, telling you to show your butthole and then trauma dump?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit awkward. I mean, you can like ban at the stage of butthole. I guess. Like, I don't know. It is really hard. Like, obviously, if someone does something like that, I feel like they already don't give a shit about what happens afterwards.
I think it's like they are doing or saying things, not only specifically that, but let's just speak generally.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people also on Twitch like to trigger people.
Yeah.
And watch what happens.
Yeah.
But regarding to people from communities, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of, because I'm in stream teams as well and talk to a few people here and there. They also ask me for advice. What should I do when something happens in their community or somebody is being a bad apple, so to speak? Even if that person was always very friendly and nice, and suddenly you hear all that, or suddenly you see it back in your chat or in Discord. And they asked me for advice, and I was very unsure of what to do because it's such a delicate thing to suddenly ban somebody that has been in your community for a while.
I wasn't in that position yet. I would probably try to get them both in a talk.
Because
that is possible as long as your community is rather small. If you get like very big, I don't think you can do that strategy anymore.
Almost not, no. But then you have your mods that actually need to solve it, right? But at the same time, do you also have that you start caring about your community, that you start caring about certain people in your community?
Definitely, yes.
And then if that person actually needs to get banned, that it actually hurts you as a streamer as well?
Yeah. Definitely.
Because also what happens in streaming that a lot of people don't know is that the moment that you decide to ban somebody for good reason, they try and start and cancel you. Because out of spite or rage, or you can name all sorts of things. Did that ever happen to you, or?
Luckily, no.
How do you think, as a streamer, you should deal with that regarding to mental health?
I guess like the thing is it's a very thin line. Like one option is to be very open about why they got banned. And like if they did something unforgivable, I think that kind of kills the whole canceling immediately.
Yeah.
Like I think you made a Twitter post once about a guy being an absolute dickhead. And I mean that is absolutely something you can do, and that I think makes it very relatable about why that happened.
Yeah. But for me, that affected my mental health badly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
For what it was, for people that don't know, they on purposely said something from my past because I was engaged before. They on purposely said something about that person, their name, and why I don't succeed in relationships or on stream. Pretty much, that's what they said. But because they used personal information against me, pretty much that's what happened.
Yeah.
Normally, it would take a toll on my mental health. But because, which is sad to say, I have received so much hate before that I'm kind of, I mean, I was hurt by it, but after a day, I was fine. You know, and before it would have hurt me way more. But I realized that there are so many bad people in the world that do that out of their own unhappiness, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think, do you think it's not weird to say as a streamer, like, oh, I received so much hate, I'm used to it now, you have to have a thick skin? Isn't that crazy to even say?
It would be crazy in the real world, in the outside world.
Where you touch grass.
Yeah, exactly, where you touch grass. In the internet, it isn't crazy. I could probably hold a lecture about hate in the internet and like explain more psychological backgrounds to that, but that kind of like that's a bit much for today.
Yeah.
It is normal to like the amount of hate is kind of normal, and I think everyone that is like or like started streaming, doing content creation has to deal with large amounts of hate.
True.
And that's why I would definitely agree on the sentence that you need a thick skin to be a streamer. Because otherwise you will most likely be unhappy.
Is there anything you want to add or ask?
I want to get back to the question that I rudely interrupted earlier. Really quick. About the off days.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you take a day off, is it really a day off?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No. It's not.
How so?
Because if you try to take a day off, people still even though they don't mean it in a bad way, they would like to play with you. They would like to DM you. They would like to, engage, right? They try
Record a
to
podcast with you.
record a podcast with me, bugging me about it. No, but I mean, it's true. Like, it is my day off today, and we're recording because I'm so technically I'm working again, even though I'm enjoying it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
True. So it can be a community thing, and more like I need to be in Discord because otherwise people will forget about me. So the anxiety for me is more like ruining my day off because I'm scared of actually taking a day off. But sometimes it is also not really possible. But sometimes you have to be there. Sometimes you want to join in with the community as well. So even if it's in a movie night, you would like to be there, even though it's my day off, but I still want to be there with the community to watch a movie, right?
Yeah.
So is it really a day off? No, unless I put my phone away and don't answer and don't look at it and don't turn on my computer.
Yeah.
At the same time, a day off is not really a day off because I'm still on Twitch. I'm trying to engage with other streamers. I'm trying to be there for them as well, for my stream teams and stuff like that I'm in. So is it really a day off? Yes and no. I think that's probably the same for you.
Yeah. Like the only real days off are the days where I actually drive somewhere and hold a lecture there. And that's obviously not a day off, but it's at least a day off Twitch.
Do you think people realize that?
I don't think so, no. Not really. Or like most of the time, like on a day off, I would do like all the editing for YouTube, for the coming week, or sure, engage with other streamers, like being in their chat a bit, like talk to them, which I enjoy. It's still like it never really is a full off.
No, because for me it feels like I still need to produce content on my days off because then I actually have the time for it. It can be on Fan House, for example, that I have that I need to. I need. It sounds wrong, but I need to take pictures for Fan House so that people see what I'm doing on my days off. So technically, I'm working again. Even though it's just picture taking, very very easy. People would probably say, like, why are you moaning about that? I'm not. It's more about like I'm always with my phone. There's also Discord on it. And of course, you're going to look into it. You feel like even on your days off, you have to engage. Say good morning to people or say how you're doing. Or even in the stream teams, in the chat and stuff, every single day, I make sure I said something. Or like hello or good morning, have a great week. Or it doesn't matter. Even when you're streaming and I'm not streaming, I try to be in your streams to be supportive as well.
And I appreciate that.
Good.
Good. You better.
You better. No, but I think, I don't know. Do we really have days off?
I think the only real way to have a day off would to do some kind of digital detox. Like
that's what I said. Like put everything away.
Everything away. Like go to a spa for a day.
Oh, that would be so good.
That would be an interesting idea.
That would be. Yes. No, but that sounds actually very lovely. But yeah.
Maybe a plan for next Monday?
Oh, let's do it! Yes! And then have a podcast from the spa.
With a good reverb there.
No, but I think we've covered generally a lot about mental health regarding streaming. We can go into more detail as well, but maybe that's good for the next one.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you in the next one.
Absolutely.
Doei doei!